cricketers again for everyone, and thank you for joining us in raising the game. Sussex Cricket stands against discrimination in all its forms, and we are committed to ensuring cricket is a game for everyone within a safe environment. Please refrain from any disruptive behaviour, including foul or abusive language or obscene gestures. You can report any violations to these requests, including discrimination of any kind, and seek your nearest Sussex Steward or Sussex Matchday staff member. We also remind our guests who choose to consume alcohol to do so in a responsible manner. So day 4 play will begin at 11 o'clock.
At Sussex Cricket, we're always pushing the limits. Searching for that extra edge, that winning formula.
It's about the small gains, the marginal improvements and the dedication to perfection.
But the pursuit of victory doesn't stop on the pitch.
Behind the scenes, WebTrends Optimise is working their magic, optimising our digital journeys, making sure every click counts.
From filling the stands with roaring fans to getting them kitted out in their Sharks gear, WebTrends Optimise helps us connect with our community.
Because nothing fuels our players more than a packed house, a sea of Shark shirts, the energy of our incredible fans.
On the pitch and online, it's a team effort. Sussex Cricket and WebTrends Optimise.
Optimise for victory.
Right. Well, a very good morning. Welcome to Hove for the final day of this county championship match between Sussex and Essex. My name's Adrian Harms, Victoria Polly sitting next to me, and we'll talk about yesterday's play and the prospects for the day in a few moments' time. Just want to make sure that the commentary's going out around the ground. There's not too many people in, and it may well be there's nobody listening on the headsets. But if they are, and you could wave your arms frantically, at least we know that everything is working okay. I can't see anyone waving, but hopefully everything is connected and we're all going out and everything is fine. So we start today with Essex in a great position, because Sussex are 245 for 7. They still trail by 55. James Cole's 99 not out. He's batted beautifully, but was involved in a run-up yesterday with John Simpson, which I'm sure he was thinking about last night. Although, you know, I think both were as much to blame as each other, to be honest. And Ari Carvelos. Now, Ari Carvelos has made a first-class half-century. He made it at Lords of all places 3 years ago, so he can bat. So while there is life, there is hope. But in reality, the new ball is due in just 6 overs, and Essex have totally dominated this game. And I'm sure that they will want to polish this off quickly this morning. But you never know. So we'll have to see. But without further ado, good morning to Victoria.
Good morning. Yes, I think Essex will be very keen to get things done as quickly as possible. Like you say, they haven't really ever relinquished control throughout this game, despite the times where Sussex have put up the resistance, both with the ball when they took those late wickets on day one, and then yesterday the 141 run partnership between Coles and Allsop as well. But Essex have always been in control of this one. I think they'll feel confident they can get it done. I'm always a little bit nervous that anything can happen in cricket. I have been at 2 games this season where Essex have been on the cusp of defeat and have ground out draws. So I always have that little sense of anything can happen. But from the performance we've seen from Essex in this game, I do think that with that new ball due as well, that's a really big factor in 6 overs time, and having both Jamie Porter and Sam Cook on the pitch for Essex, which hasn't always been the case this season. I do hope it's a case of when and not if.
Well, certainly Essex have completely dominated this game, and I'm sure that that's something that Sussex recognise. They've got a long trip coming up next week, and they won't have much time to recover, but they'll be hoping to, you know, at least try and drag this out as long as they possibly can, as the players make their way out to the middle. So James Cole's on 99. His mum and dad were in the ground yesterday, and I'm sure they'll be here today to see if James can go through to what will be his 3rd century of the season. And forgetting the run out, I think he's batted beautifully.
Yeah, I wonder how he slept last night, how he feels being on 19.
Weird, isn't it?
Overnight.
I'm going to ask him later. We might be able to grab I'm sure they're very good, Sussex. I'm sure we'll have a quick word with James after the game and see what the situation is, how well he slept. But he's going to take strike now. Is he going to take strike, or is it going to be? It's going to be Matt Critchley who's going to carry on, and it is indeed going to be James Coles who is going to take strike.
I will let you commentate on whatever happens for James Coles in this first over, because I'm going to go and update the BBC Essex list.
Oh, right. Well, this would be James Coles' 7th first-class century. It would be his 3rd in consecutive county championship matches this season, against Durham, against Warwickshire, and now here against Essex. But Essex won't make it easy, no question about that. There's one slip, and the rest of the field is all saving one. There's a sprinkling of spectators around the ground, and it's going to be Matt Critchley who's going to get things underway this morning from the Cromwell Road end of the ground. Lots of blue sky around. The weather isn't a problem today. Critchley's in, bowls to Coles, who clips that back to... Eric Carvelos is going to be run out. Well, that was ridiculous. That would have been the second crazy run out of the inning. So James Coles played that to backward square leg. I mean, it was Carvelos' call in that he was at the non-striker's end, but he could have easily run out James Coles. Critchley in, bowls, and Coles places firmly to mid-wicket, and there is no run. A little more sedate with that delivery, but that would have been bonkers. James Coles was quite right to send Ari Carvelos back. There was never a single there. Elgar was on it in a flash. Critchley in, bowls, Coles is forward and plays that onto the onside. And again, there is no run. 4 men saving 1 on the onside, 4 on the off. Is that right? There's a slip. As in comes Critchley, bowls, cut away by James Coles, and there we are. That's going to go to 4 runs, and what a lovely way to go to his 100, and good to see some of the Essex players applauding as well. That's a fine 100 by James Coles, his third 100 in consecutive county championship matches. It's come in 193 balls in 269 minutes, 14 fours and 1 6. Centuries against Durham, centuries against Warwickshire, now a century here in this match against Essex. It's the 7th century, or 7th first-class century of his career. He's a player in wonderful form, very well batted, James Coles, and very well deserved. Critchley in again, bowls, and Coles is forward. There's an appeal. I don't know whether they thought that was bat, or sorry, bat, I should say, but either way, there is no run. Critchley again, bowls, and Coles is forward, plays to short extra cover, and there is no run. So end of the opening over, 2:49 for 7. James Coles 103 not out. Ari Carvelis is on 4. And certainly James Coles is having a terrific season. He was very, very good in the T20 campaign for Sussex, the leading run scorer. 3 centuries in consecutive games. He's just in this rich vein of form, and I know the England Lions have got a trip out to Australia this winter, and I would say that it is almost certain that James Coles will be on the plane out to the Lions. He's a cricketer with a great future, 21 years of age. But he will have other things on his mind, such as, can Sussex just do anything here to squeeze this game out a little longer, maybe get Sussex some sort of a lead? It's a long shot, but you never know, as Simon Harmer is in. Bowls to Carvelos, who defends down the ground. Harmer fields of his own bowling, there is no run. There's a short leg, a silly mid-off and a slip of the close fielders. Harry Carvelos with a twirl of the bat. He faced 34 balls so far, so he's defended stoutly. As Harmer is in, bowls, Carvelos is forward, plays down the offside of the track, there is no run. Yes, the weather forecast good today, there's lots of blue sky and the cloud is nice and high, so if you're an Essex fan wondering, oh dear, will the weather intervene? Well, it's certainly not forecast to. Harmer in, bowls, Carvelos is forward, plays onto the onside, and again there is no run, 2:49 for 7. Simon Harmer wanders back to his mark. He's in his 14th over. Hasn't taken a wicket in this innings. Taken a couple of good catches though. Particularly the catch at slip to get rid of Daniel Hughes, which was an important catch. Harmer's in, bowls, and short leg. Dean Elgar was taking evasive action there because that was short, and I think Elgar thought Carvelos was going to try and pull that one through mid-wicket. In the end, he didn't. Elgar's so close, I mean, he's virtually standing on Eric Carvelos' foot. Harmer in again, Carvelos pushes forward into the offside, and there is no run. 2:49 for 7, Carvelos on 4, Coles on 103. As Harmer wanders back to his mark. Harmer is in again. Bowls down the leg side, he's given out, he's caught down the leg side, and the first wicket of the day goes down. Simon Harmer does pick up a wicket, and that's a real bonus as far as Essex are concerned. Looking to play that one down the leg side, Michael Pepper smartly across, takes the catch, and Carvelos is on his way for 4, and Sussex have lost a wicket in just the second over of the day. 2:49 for 7, Coles on 103. But Eric Carvelos on his way for 4, and it's a soft dismissal, if we're being honest, isn't it? Caught down the leg side off of the spinner.
Yeah, just watching that, it was it hadn't turned too much, it wasn't coming back in, but he decided he was going to try and just paddle it round the corner instead. Michael Pepper was alert to it, and Essex pick up a wicket with the final ball of the second over of day 4, and I think now there'll be even more confidence around. I'm glad James Coles got to his 100 though. I think that would have been very cruel had everything happened around him and it yesterday, because it did take a while in the 90s for him. So I'm pleased to see that for him, because he's played really well in this match and has really been the hope for Sussex with the bat.
Well, here comes Henry Crocombe. Now, Henry's a useful player. score, I think Henry's top score is 49. Oh, it's 46 in first class cricket, but I'll double check my stats in a moment. But I'm clutching at straws here, Victoria.
You can't clutch at the weather straw today, though, because we have got blue sky.
No, the weather straw is long gone. And it's going to be Matt Critchley to bowl the third over of the day.
Yeah, Matt Critchley, who's picked up 3 wickets, was also involved in that run-out yesterday. Will bowl at Coles, who is punching that one through the covers. He will pick out the fielder, though, so quite happy to just stand back and watch that one with no run.
I'm a little surprised he hasn't taken a single there, because Sussex are so far behind, and Henry Croghan can bat. I mean, you can't possibly, on your own, get Sussex into a big lead.
Critchley is in, and that one's defended by Coles. Well, true, I guess, but there isn't any hurry, is there? So if he doesn't want to take those singles, I don't know. Yeah. How do you approach that when you still trail? As Critchley is in, that one's wide of off stump and left alone by Coles. 249 for 8. Less than 4 overs now until that new ball is due, but Critchley's had some fortune with this one, as that one's given a bit more air and it's driven by Coles. He'll pick out long off and will come through for the single this time. So the 250 up for Sussex, 8 wickets down, and the deficit is 50. All very simple maths with that lead of 300 that Essex notched up yesterday morning. Around about this time, it was Simon Harmer hitting sixes for fun to work up that Essex score to 504 before he was eventually dismissed. And Critchley is coming in to Crocombe, who just edges that one into the leg side, has a look, but decides not to take any kind of quick single.
Actually, I should have done my homework, which I hadn't done. Henry Crocombe does have a first-class half century, 54. That's his highest score against Glamorgan here at Hove last year. Sorry, Henry.
Essex just making a change in the field. They're bringing in a leg slip in Paul Walter. Got Dean Elgar short leg as Critchley is in. That's in the air. It's going to drop safe, though. It wasn't timed by Crocombe, and there's a real big yelp from the Essex field, but that was in the air for a long time. There was no one around it. Drops safe, so they come through for a single to the Sussex pair and finish the over 251 for 8.
Well, the funny thing was they hadn't taken a single off the previous delivery, and I think they presumed that there was 2 runs there, but I don't know. Obviously Sussex will have a plan here, but I would have just thought with the arrears being, what are they now, 49, that you probably have to take every run that you can. I would imagine if and when the new ball is taken, I completely understand that James Coles would want to farm as much of the strike as possible, but I just wonder with this older ball, if runs are available, maybe it's a good idea to take them. Either way, a slip, a silly mid-off, a short leg, and Simon Harmer is in over the wicket bowls to Crocombe, who plays firmly to mid-off, fielded there by Ahmed, and there is no run. A scattering of spectators around the ground. Harmer in again. Bowls, Crocombe is forward, plays down the offside for the track. Harmer fields again, there is no run. Those blue seats, the temporary stands, will come down after this game, and that'll be that for this season for those temporary seating, as in comes Harmer bowls to Crocombe, who plays not where he intended that to go at all. It's ended up at backwards square leg, and Crocombe picks up a single. He goes to 2, the total to 252 for 8.
Yeah, they haven't been the cleanest of shots so far from Henry Crocombe, but he's picking up a couple of singles here.
Harmer just wants to change to his field. He's moved his long on. In fact, it's Tom Wesley who's come out to long on just down below us. Harmer in bowls. Coles plays through the onside. I think perhaps they've decided they are going to take these singles because there's still 2 balls left in the over. Here's Henry Crocombe on strike. Coles to 105. 253 for 8. The close field remains for the right-handed Crocombe. Harmer in very quickly again, bowls. Crocombe is solidly forward, plays down the offside of the track. Harmer fields off his own bowling, and there is no run. New ball will be available in 13 balls time as Harmer's in again, bowls. Crocombe back on his stumps, clips firmly to square leg. It could have been a single, but you probably heard the very loud cry of no from James Cole. So Simon Harmer finishes his over. 15 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 37. Sussex 253 for 8. Here they still trail by 47. If you're just joining us for the first time this morning, 2 events of note. The first, James Cole's going through to his 7th 100 of his first-class career. His 3rd in consecutive county championship matches for Sussex, following on from hundreds against Durham and against Warwickshire. And the other notable event, Harry Cavalos dismissed without adding to his overnight score, caught down the leg side of the bowling of Simon Harmer by keeper Michael Pepper.
Matt Critchley to continue into his 17th over. He is in, and that's edged into the offside by James Coles for no run. Spoke to Matt Critchley last night at the end of play, second night in a row, because the previous day he'd made 123 with the bat as he is into Coles, and that one's turned into the leg side for no run. And spoke to him last night after the 3 wickets. He brought up his celebration where he slipped over, not me. And that was the first wicket he took to break the partnership between Coles and Alsop, as Critchley is into Coles, who's getting low, getting forward to defend that one back to the bowler for no run. He said it was slightly
embarrassing.
Yes, probably was the word for it, as Critchley is in over the wicket, and that's slapped into the offside up to long off for a single by Coles. No urgency from Tom Wesley, just lets it dribble towards him and picks up.
I see no reason here, Victoria, why... In fact, the Essex flag's just being taken down. I just saw it disappear down the flagpole, so someone's decided that they're getting things packed up from it.
The engine's running, they're ready to go.
But the flag is just literally coming down the flagpole. I see no reason why Essex wouldn't take this new ball as soon as it's due.
254 for 8 as Critchley is in, and Crocombe is down looking to sweep that one. Doesn't time it, and... into the leg side it drops. Don't know if it hit Dean Elgar there or we managed to stop it, but anyway, it doesn't go too far, and it's a dot ball, so just a single from the over so far. Crocombe's on 2, and Critchley is just going to move Paul Walter in further at mid-wicket as Critchley is in, and that one is just gently placed out into the offside by Crocombe for a dot, so just the 1 run added. Still the deficit is 46. Sussex 8 wickets down, 254 runs on the board.
I'm not sure these stats, how quickly they update, but it's showing James Coles here as 840 runs this season. He's 26 behind John Simpson, who's Sussex's leading run scorer. John's averaging 66, James Coles averaging 56. So potentially he could become the highest run scorer for Sussex this season with another 20 odd runs, but it's going to face an over now from Simon Harmer, who's coming in from the sea end of the ground. A lovely sunny morning, bowls to James Coles, who plays that firmly to mid-wicket, and there is no run, fielded by Paul Walter. Slipping a short leg in place for Coles, who just has a quick glance towards that leg side field. Harmer again. Over the wicket, bowls, Coles plays not quite where he intended. Simon Harmer's got his hands on his head. It's ended up at backward square leg, and I'm not at all sure that's where James thought that was going. Again, there is no run. Harmer again. In and played firmly by Coles. They decided not to. Oh, they are going to take this in. Well, that was it wasn't great cricket, I have to say. James Cole clipped it onto the onside. Henry Crocombe was sort of looking the other way and suddenly realised that James Coles had decided they would go for a single. There's no harm done, but 107 to Coles, 255 for 8. Harmer in bowls, and Crocombe plays pleasantly to mid-off, and there is no run. imagine this new ball will be taken after this over. I'd be very surprised if it isn't. Harmer. Crocombe plays firmly through the onside. They're not going to take the single because James Coles knows that almost certainly this new ball will be taken after one more ball. And that's going to be a test against presumably Jamie Porter and Sam Cook. Harmer in over the wicket bowls. Crocombe is forward, he struck on the pad, the ball bounces out into the offside, there is no run. So it is the end of the over. 255 for 8, the arrears are still 45. Let's see whether the new ball, I'll be staggered if it isn't taken. Bit of a debate going on between one or two of the Essex players. They're all looking in the direction of the skipper. I don't think they are going to take it. Is Critchley going to bowl the next over? He is. Well, I'm really surprised at that. I'm very surprised. I mean, I know. When's Essex's next game?
Start on Tuesday against Warwickshire at home.
Well, I must admit, I'm a little surprised. I'd have thought take the new ball and try and polish off this Sussex tail, but they've decided not to.
Critchley continues then from the Cromwell Road end, and that one's dug out by James Coles up to long off for no run.
I mean, I guess there may be a thought, well, you know, we don't want to. You could only beat 3 or 4 over. Who knows? But perhaps the plan is just to keep them back if they don't have to bowl them.
In comes Critchley, gives that one a bit more pace, and it's played back to him by Coles. So 2 dot balls. I guess maybe Critchley said, "Give me one more, see what I can do." Who knows? He's going to come around the wicket this time to Coles, and he's played that into the offside. Another dot ball. $255 for 8 as he's in. That's an attempted sweep by Coles. It hits the helmets, and umpire just signalling.
What is he signalling there? Is he signalling that as extra runs?
I thought he signalled dead ball, but
well, I'm not sure what he signalled.
I thought
yes, it's 5 runs.
Oh,
yeah,
there we go. 5 penalty runs for hitting the
helmet. Yeah.
So they now trail by 40 as Critchley is in. He does get bat on that one, so he looks to paddle it round the corner. And he picks out Dean Elgar on the field though, so dot ball. That's helped the cause. 260 for 8. Critchley returns around the wicket. That's hit more uppishly into the leg side. Backward square for... No, they didn't take a run that time, did they? Yes, they did.
Yes.
Single from the final ball of the over, and we'll still keep an eye to see whether Essex decide at any point to take this new ball, but at the end of that over, 261 for 8 on the board for Sussex, trailing by 39, and it does look like Simon Harmer's going to continue as well.
That was interesting because I can't remember seeing that before, but on the scoreboard they put up 5 pens, 5 penalty runs for the ball hitting the helmet. Yes, there we are, and they go down as extras on the scorecard. There we are. I don't think I've seen that here before. With the ball hitting the helmet.
He did well to get it around the corner to the helmets, to be fair.
In comes Simon Harmer, bowls to Coles, who plays it onto the onside, and he's on his way. James Coles goes. It was a strange shot. He's caught it backward square leg off of Simon Harmer. We'll just see that again because it seemed to be in the air for an awful long time. And James Coles goes. Let's just see if we can see that delivery again. But Coles goes for 100. Just see this. He's in and bowls. Did he hit it? It came off his... I'm not so sure, you know, that didn't come off the backside of Dean Elgar and went up into the air. Just see that again. I think it did. I think it deflected off the fielder. Just see this again. Yeah, I think it did. I think it hit the fielder and ballooned in the air and was called a backward square leg. Either way, James Coles gets good applause as he makes his way off the ground, out for 108 14 fours and a 6. And I think in reality, any chance Sussex had of maybe carrying this into some sort of a lead goes with. Did you see this again, Victoria? There? Yes, it hit Elgar. And it's ballooned and caught it backwards square leg.
So an unfortunate end to a good
it
innings
was.
there
Yes,
from
it was an
James
unfortunate end. But Harmer picks up his second wicket of the morning. Did you see this again? Watch. I think he hit him on the backside. And ballooned to backwards square leg. And James Coles is gone for 108. And Sussex 261 for 9.
Well, yeah, now we said it was potentially a case of how long Essex would take to get these wickets. The deficit's still 39 and they need 1 wicket, and it's been the spin of Simon Harmer to take the 2 wickets this morning. So they've persevered by not taking the new ball and continued with the spinners. And I think now you could argue James Coles still being there was what was going to help eke this out, not to take anything away from Crocombe and Sandhu, but when you've got the lower order there, Essex will definitely have their tails up.
It goes Harmer. Was it my over? Bowls to Sandhu. Why don't you commentate on this over? Because if Essex might win in this over.
Okay, well, but we did this yesterday, and then we were here forever waiting for James Coles. You continue, that's fine.
Okay.
We're both here, that's the main thing.
Harmer around the wicket, bowls to Sandhu, who plays in the air to mid-on, and there is no run. So I wonder whether we will get the pace bowlers. I can actually see, is that Sam Cook warming up? In comes Harmer, bowls, Sandhu defends into the offside, no run. Having taken the wicket of James Coles, you almost wonder now whether Essex will just carry on with the spinners. 261 for 9. The arrears are 39. Harmer in bowls. Sandhu plays firmly into the offside. There is no run. Fielded by Cook. Simon Harmer figures of 2 for 38. There's Harmer is in bowls. Sandhu just defends into the offside. There is no run. It is the end of the over. 261 for 9. Indeed. And 17 overs, 6 maidens, 2 for 38 for Simon Harmer. 261 for 9. And Essex on the cusp of victory, and a well-deserved victory in a game they've absolutely dominated from the very first morning.
It's very thoughtful of them to think of the Friday rush hour traffic getting back to Essex.
Yeah, especially getting around over that Dartford Bridge.
Yeah.
Every time I go across, I always forget to pay, and then I think, well, do you sort of take one of these season ticket things or whatever, or do you just pay every time you go?
Well, I do. When I go myself, I do have my own account. I went to university in Kent, so I go back quite often to see friends. So I have an account, so I don't have to think about it each time.
Okay.
As Critchley's about to begin a new over from the Cromwell Road end, is into Crocombe, and have they got him? They have. Michael Pepper's been hit in the process, so I think he's taken his helmet off, and that is the end of...
I think he hit the stumps and rebounded up and hit him in the face, I think.
Yeah, he looks in some pain, so that's rather just dampened these celebrations for Essex picking up their second county championship win of the season. But Crocombe departs for 2. Michael Pepper is back up on his feet now, so the congratulations can begin. Matt Critchley picks up the final wicket, and yeah, that looked painful for Michael Pepper as the ball just made its way through to him as it took the bail off the top of the stumps. And Essex have beaten Sussex comprehensively here at Hove. A much needed win for Essex in the county championship, in a game which they've had control of all the way through. We've seen them back to full strength with their bowling attack. We've seen a really solid batting display as well. Jordan Cox at his best, and all in all, a really pleasing performance for Essex.
Well, a terrific performance by Essex. As I say, they've completely dominated the game from day one. I thought we saw one of the best innings, perhaps the best innings I've seen this season, from Ben Cox, that wonderful 100, well supported by Matt Critchley. But really the victory was set up on the first day, wasn't it? Sussex bowled out for just 204 in 52 overs. James Cole's aside. Really no one could stay with him. John Simpson made 34 at that stage. Sussex were threatening to build some sort of a total, but let's take nothing away from Essex. A comprehensive win, 24 points, Sussex just taking 2 points, and much for Paul Farbrace and Sussex to ponder ahead of the trip to Scarborough. But Essex players making their way off. Well-deserved applause, and well-deserved applause for Matt Critchley, who picked up 4 wickets. We said yesterday maybe Critchley should bowl, and he got the breakthrough, really, didn't he, when he got Tom Alsop, LBW for 72. And the Sussex players come down, handshakes all round. And from an Essex point of view, Victoria, I mean, they finished off the T20. I mean, they had a couple of decent wins in that in the end, winning at the Oval, also beating Sussex at Chelmsford, winning here as well. I mean, it's difficult to see a side of this quality finishing in the relegation places. Maybe this will be a little stepping stone to a good finish to the season for Essex.
I think so, and it just shows the problems that we've talked about that Essex have had this season in terms of the resources available to them, where they've had injuries, the availability of Sam Cook. It's been a culmination of a few things that have meant we haven't seen Essex do as well as previously, and as well as probably expected. But I think, like I said, with the bowling performance, it just shows what a full strength Essex side can do. The fact they had decisions to make about who to leave out of this game. No Shane Snater, no Charlie Allison. Good headaches for Chris Silverwood, the director of cricket, to make. So although when you look at it, you know, Jamie Porter and taking the 4 wickets in the first innings, it's very much the pace that helped Essex put themselves in control from that Sussex first innings. But then Matt Critchley, we've seen the leg spin with a little bit of help from the Sussex batting in that final session yesterday, really set Essex on their way to victory, and it's taken 26 minutes on day 4 to get the job done.
When you think about it, Sussex were actually 174 for 2, so they lost 8 for 87 in that second innings to Critchley, who picked up 4 of those wickets, but a very, very convincing win for Essex. So not much more for us to say, really. Sussex head up to Scarborough. They'll be leaving here on Sunday for the long trek north. Not an easy game following on from a heavy defeat. So much for the Sussex coaching staff to ponder as they travel up to Yorkshire next week. Sussex then, we go into the 50 over cup, and Sussex not back here in the county championship until the 8th of September. When Hampshire will be the visitors. Victoria was saying Essex at home next week against Warwickshire. Yeah,
from Tuesday, so a chance for Essex to back this up and really pull themselves away from the wrong end of the Division 1 table. Hopefully they'll have similar availability in terms of the team, and it'll be good to try and follow this up. Hopefully they'll take a lot of confidence from performance, as I say, with both bat and ball. I think that's important as well, picking up the batting points. 24 points going back to Chelmsford for Essex, which all helps. Worcestershire still in action. Warwickshire have lost a couple of early wickets in their chase of that game, and it looks like Surrey against Yorkshire is heading for a draw. So we'll keep our eyes on the Division 1 table to see how things pan out. But Essex taking 24 points and a much needed second win of the season in the county championship back to Essex.
Well, Victoria, it's been great to see you the last couple of days. Thanks very much indeed to Dean Wilson. If you're listening, Dean, it's been a real pleasure to meet you as well during this game. Thank you to the listeners. Thank you for everyone who's been in touch on email. Those spectators who turned up hoping to see some sort of a Sussex miracle today are just going to sit and enjoy the sunshine, I think, for a little longer. We'll go and get some interviews. Say thank you for listening, and we'll be back with you with coverage of Sussex's game at Scarborough next week, and Victoria and her colleagues from Chelmsford as well for the game against Warwickshire. But for now, from myself, from Adrian Harms and Victoria Polly, thanks very much indeed, and we'll speak to you again in the near future, Tuesday in fact.